You are tuned to the Indraprasth channel of Akashvani. Today is Dandi March Day. It was on this very date in 1930 that Mahatma Gandhi embarked upon a 241 miles Padyatra from Sabarmati to the Arabian Sea coastal town of Dandi, uniting the oppressed Indians to wake up and show peaceful resistance against oppressive colonial rules. It is in this backdrop that we now bring to you a talk by Mrs. Ranu Mehta, events leading up to Dandi March and significance of the march in India's freedom struggle.
The future depends on what we do in the present. It's easy to stand in the crowd, but it takes courage to stand alone. Our greatest ability as humans is not to change the world, but to change ourselves. These powerful lines were said by our eminent leader, Mahatma Gandhi ji. We remember today as Dandi March Day, also known as a Salt March Day, as the Dandi March played an important, a pivotal event in India's struggle for independence. It was deeply rooted in the oppressive dynamics of British colonization. At its core, the march represented a poignant response to the multifaceted injustices perpetuated by British rule, ranging from economic exploitation to political oppression and cultural suppression. Well, central to the narrative of the Dandi March was the imposition of the salt tax by the British colonial government. This tax, levied on a basic commodity essential for daily life, served as a stark reminder of British economic exploitation. Salt was not just a condiment, it was a vital component of the Indian diet, particularly for the poorer segments of society, exacerbating their already precarious economic circumstances. This tax became emblematic of British exploitation and sparked widespread resentment among the Indian populace. Beyond economic exploitation, British colonization also manifested in political oppression and the denial of basic civil liberties to the Indian population. The colonial government maintained a tight grip on power, suppressing dissent and curtailing any aspirations for self-governance among Indians. Political institutions were structured to favor the British elite, marginalizing the voices of the Indian majority. This systematic disenfranchisement fueled a sense of indignation and a desire for autonomy among Indians, laying the groundwork for resistance movements like the Dandi March. The other factor was the cultural suppression that became the hallmark of British colonization in India. The British policies and institutions were imposed with the explicit intent of promoting Western values and norms while disparaging Indian traditions. In this context of economic exploitation, political oppression, and cultural suppression, Gandhiji emerged as a beacon of resistance. Gandhiji's philosophy of non-violent resistance provided a powerful framework for challenging colonial rule while maintaining the moral high ground. The Dandi March, led by Gandhiji, was a masterstroke of strategic activism. Gandhiji provided sound reasons for his decisions. He said that an item of daily use would resonate better with citizens of all classes. The salt tax accounted for more than 8.2% of the British Raj tax revenue that would hurt the poorest Indians significantly. On the 5th of February, newspapers had reported that Gandhiji would begin civil disobedience, and thereby Gandhiji informed Lord Irwin, the Viceroy, then of his plan. He led a group of people from his ashram at Sabarmati on 12th March 1930 and walked through the villages of Gujarat. On reaching the coastal village of Dandi, he would make salt from seawater, thereby breaking the Salt Act. Gandhiji started the march with 80 followers. Thousands of people thronged the path from Sabarmati Ashram to Ahmedabad to witness the historic event. A renowned leader, Sarojini Naidu, joined Gandhiji on the way. There were about 50,000 people participating in the march. Thus, the Salt March was one of the most successful campaigns. The march was a direct action, movement of tax resistance and peaceful protest against the British salt monopoly. This lasted from March 12th to April 6, 1930. Gandhiji embarked on 241-mile march from Sabarmati to the Arabian Sea coastal town of Dandi on March 12th. Friends, this day, that is today, 12th March, is a significant day in India's history. Dandi March is also known as Namak Satyagraha, and the movement is also regarded as civil disobedience movement, with the campaign run by people wearing white khadi who needed a strong inauguration that would inspire more people to follow Gandhiji's example. The march spanned 387 kilometers from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi, which was called Navsari at that time, now in the state of Gujarat. There were growing numbers of Indians who had joined them all along the way. When Gandhiji broke the British Raj salt laws at 8:30 a.m. on the 6th of April 1930, it sparked large-scale acts of civil disobedience against the salt laws by millions of Indians. After making salt by evaporation at Dandi, Gandhiji continued southward along the coast. The Salt Satyagraha campaign was based upon Gandhiji's principles of non-violent protests called Satyagraha, which he translated as truth, force. Literally, it is formed from the Sanskrit words Satya, truth, and Agraha, insistence. In early 1920, the Indian National Congress chose Satyagraha as their main tactic for winning Indian sovereignty and self-rule and appointed Gandhiji to organize the campaign. The Salt March to Dandi and hundreds of non-violent protesters in Dharsana received worldwide news coverage, demonstrated the effective use of civil disobedience as a technique for fighting against social and political injustice. The teachings of Gandhiji and the March to Dandi had a significant influence on American activists Martin Luther, King Jr. James Bevel. The fight of Satyagraha is for the strong in spirit, not the doubter or the timid. Satyagraha teaches us the art of living as well as dying. Gandhiji expressed Satyagraha as an attribute of the spirit within. It is latent in every one of us, like Swaraj is our birthright. Listeners, on the 11th of March, 1930, the crowd swelled to 10,000 at the evening prayer held on the Sabarmati sands at Ahmedabad. Gandhiji delivered a memorable speech on the eve of his historic march. His famous lines in his speech is remembered till date. No one who believes in non-violence as a creed needs sit still. A satyagrahi, whether free or incarcerated, is ever victorious. He is vanquished only when he forsakes truth and non-violence and turns a deaf ear to the inner voice. The power of speech and Gandhiji's visit to Dandi swept a wave of nationalism across the entire country. Friends, the symbolic Dandi Yatra created a sentiment in favor of freedom. Among the people, Gandhiji's Dandi March has played an important role as it still shows the way to take the right decision in difficult times and highlights the importance of sacrifice to the people. Gandhiji said, "I want world sympathy in this battle of right against might." And rightly so, this march played a vital role in India's freedom.
Events leading up to Dandi March and significance of the march in India's freedom struggle. You just heard a talk by Mrs. Ranu Mehta. This broadcast came to you from the Indraprasth channel of Akashvani. Please stay tuned in for our next announcement.